Hey guys, thought I'd give you a little winter garden tour. Well, it's not really that winter yet, but it's coming on. So one thing that's kind of important to observe in this front yard garden is at this time, we're late November, the garden is in complete shade, and I'm filming it's about 2 p.m. right now. So we just passed the high point of the day, and you can see the garden is fully in shade. I think the only bed that is in light at some point during the day is the last one here. Today's video is brought to you guys by paperpot.co. That's a company that I co-own with Diego Footer. We started selling the paper pot transplanter, they're now world famous, and now we're selling Jang products like the JP1, the JP5. We're also selling tools like the Meadow Creature, and we've got a bunch more exciting stuff coming in the new year. We're really all about developing and marketing tools that are game changer tools that are important and critical to running your farm. Next thing I want to say is my Profitable Market Gardening Workshop tickets are on sale. If you go to this page, theurbanfarmer.co/PMG, you'll see all the different farms that I do this at. There's 4 different farms, 1 in Canada, the other 3 in the United States. Check them out. Find the one that suits you best, closest to you, or whatever that type of operation is that suits your business. All 4 of these farms are incredibly unique. They all offer different things, different fields of expertise, as well as different types of crops and different types of marketplaces. The next one that's coming up is February 25th at Steadfast Farm in Mesa, Arizona. This is the new site of the farm. I'm actually going to be down there in early December to make a video about it, but it's in an agri-hood, and it is a super cool farm. So I hope to see some of you guys there. So I'll give you a little tour around of what we're still eating here. Even though we've been getting below freezing, we're still actually eating from this garden a lot. I still have beets. Beets are still standing, despite that we've got a little bit below freezing. Still rocking. The celery, what I'm doing right now, because it's gonna get about -6 or something like that Celsius tonight. So what I'm gonna do is pull out all the stuff that I don't want to completely freeze. So I'm pulling the last of my celery out, and I gotta say, celery has been an amazing crop to grow in the garden. When I used to grow it on the farm too, like 4 or 5 years ago, we'd go 3 or 4 rows on a 30-inch bed at 6-inch spacing, so you can do it with the paper pot transplanter, which is awesome. And you get really high yields, especially if you're letting your celery heads get to, you know, full size like that. You get a lot on there. And the other one that's just a killer is the celeriac. It's sort of the unsung hero of storage crops. I mean, this thing alone weighs, I'm gonna say, probably 1.5 pounds. That's pretty heavy. So I mean, if you can get, I don't know what you can get for celeriac these days. Maybe if you, let's say you get $3 a pound. That's at that spacing, you can get 400 in a 50-foot bed, and so, you know, that's 400 and let's call it 400 pounds on a 50-foot bed, or 800 pounds on a 100-foot bed. Now, that's sort of the upper end of the yield. I do know for a fact, a student of mine, Heidi Cook, did a video with her Campbell Valley Farms. She just texted me and told me that she's getting 500 pounds of celeriac on a 100-foot bed. So 500 to 800, that's good. Like, that's a really good yield, and that crop keeps for a long time. So it's a real winner as far as like a homestead garden goes. We juice that stuff. You know what's also really cool about the celeriac I found this year is it produces celery stalks that are half decent. Like, they're not as good for eating as celery, but they're just as good for juicing. And so we would basically just be harvesting stalks off throughout the summer, and then at the end I get a root crop. So as far as like a homesteading storage crop, that's a killer one, because you get it all summer and then you get a good harvest at the end of it. You want one more leek? Yes, please. Okay. My wife just wants one more leek, and let me just show you these two. These are just a fantastic crop, and these I can leave in the ground. They'll be able to handle the freeze tonight. Nice thick leeks here. They'll handle the freeze. I might see if I can cover this up with a poly though, so just it avoids the harsh freezing. So anyways, the celeriac, the beets, the celery, all great crops. My kale this stuff's all done now, but I've got it in the greenhouse now. The herb garden is pretty much done, except for some of the perennial stuff we're still picking on there. And Salanova, you can see, like,
without poly, it's not going to handle these kind of temperatures. Strawberries have been unbelievable. Talked a lot about strawberries throughout the year, and I can't decide actually if I'm going to cut all this back, like mow it all back, or just leave it and let it dry up and die. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you think I should do with these strawberries. I know some friends of mine in slightly warmer climates than here, they like to cut them back. But because we get such, like, there'll be a foot of snow on the ground here in December. I'm not sure what people do who get lots of snow do with their celeries. Do they cut them back, or do they just leave them be? So the thing that I'm also doing right now is this romaine crop has been killer, and I don't want to pull it all out of the ground because it's actually doing just fine, and we've been making killer romaine salads lately. What I'm actually going to do today is I'm just going to harvest out, I'll use a knife, but just show you. I'm going to harvest out all the edge of this romaine and put that in a tote in the walk-in cooler in the greenhouse, and then I'll put a polytunnel over the bed for the rest of it. The reason I want to harvest the edge ones is if I put a little polytunnel in here now, these ones on the edge will just kind of get rotted because they'll be touching the plastic. So I might as well harvest those ones and then cover the inner core. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do with the celery. Just some greens here. Red Russian kale handles just fine. Like when I looked out in the garden this morning, I mean, it doesn't get light now until like 7 really. This was all drooped over because it was -2 or so last night. But it spruces up. Like, it's only 6 degrees Celsius right now, so it's not warm. But spinach is still doing just fine. And one thing I screwed up this summer was I planted this second crop of celery just a little too late. If I would have planted this 2 weeks early in the summer, I believe this went in as a transplant in August. And it was probably started in early July. Actually, no, it went in late July. So this should have been started by seed, call it the 3rd to 4th week of June. Should have been transplanted mid-July or late July, and it would have been fine. But because it went a little bit too late, it's like, it's not quite big enough. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna pull some of this out of the ground and transplant it into some pots and put in the warm greenhouse and see if I can salvage it. So I'll definitely let you guys know, but that's gonna be my test. You know, the cool thing about celery at this point is, like, let me see if I can just pull one out by my hand, is it's got a nice thick root base and a nice stalk, you know? So if I put that in some really nice moist soil, let's see if I can do it. I don't know. So other stuff I've done is prune back a lot of the berries. I pruned back all my grapes because I've got John Hofer from Wise Earth Farms helping me do a bunch of stuff around here. I'll kind of give you guys an update. It's a total construction zone in the back right now, so I don't want to do any videos about that until it's more or less done, and I'll kind of show you some of the things we've done back there. But I've pruned back these grapes, and we're going to put trellises in and big arbors in here, prune back these gojis. I'm going to get rid of this goji berry. It kind of got in the way, and it sucked anyways. It was a really crappy type, so I'm going to pull that out. And you know what? One other thing I can show you in the garden right here is sorrel. It's an amazingly resilient green. I don't really like it in salads, but it's good to cook with, and it's I think you can juice it. Not much left. I had a ton here. I guess a lot of it died back, but this stuff has survived. And it's perennial, so it'll kind of it'll grow. If it survives the winter, it'll grow throughout the year. But it's a cool little hardy green as well. So anyways, that is my update on the garden. I hope you guys have found that helpful. If you want to see more videos like this, leave questions and comments below. One thing I want to mention too before I close out is I left a little poll. If you go in the community forum, I'll leave a link for it in the show notes, but if you go in the community forum to this channel, I asked a question. Out of these 5 different types of agriculture, which one do you want to see me do videos on the most? And I listed things like animal-based stuff, tractor-based farming, technology-based farming, aquaculture, and I think the other one was orchards and vineyards. Like, what kind of farms are you guys interested in me visiting the next year? Since I'm launching this membership site, pretty confident that it's going to give me some resources to actually make some specific trips to make specific videos. So I want to go and check out all kinds of different types of farms around North America, and you know, if time permits, perhaps Europe and South America as well. Depends. But yeah, go and check that poll out and tell me what you think, and that's what I'm going to prioritize going forward in the next year. All right guys, talk to you later.